There's just so much.
You're listening to a Mamamia podcast.
Mamamia acknowledges the traditional owners of land and waters that this podcast is recorded on.
Hey Out Louders, it's Mia Freedman in your ears all alone today for a second, but I've brought a friend and I have a special treat for you. You've probably heard me talk about the brand new Mamamia podcast that I've been working on behind the scenes. It's our new fashion and style podcast and it's called Nothing to Wear. Don't be intimidated by the fact that I'm saying fashion and style. It's actually for anybody who wears clothes because it's a podcast that helps women of all ages and shapes and styles figure out what to buy, how to wear what you've already got, and how to navigate your already full closet. But today's episode that I want to share with you is all about sneakers, and the guest host on it is me. And I explain how to style sneakers confidently, how to wear them to work, to dinner, what to wear them with in your current wardrobe. I'm really just a fountain of incredible information about sneakers. Host Leigh Campbell is just great at asking me lots of questions. So I think you'll like it. It's a bit of a hoot, this show. Here it is. I hope you enjoy it. And if you want to listen to more episodes, you will have to subscribe to this podcast so that you get it in your feed each week. And we'll put a link to that in the show notes.
Whoever said orange was the new pink was seriously disturbed.
Florals for spring. Groundbreaking.
Oh my gosh!
You have to do it. You live for fashion. Hello and welcome to Nothing to Wear, the podcast that solves fashion problems, helps you level up your wardrobe without spending a fortune, and makes getting dressed fun again. I'm Leigh Campbell, and every week I talk to an expert who is going to help us work out how to get more out of the clothes we already own and tell us exactly what is and isn't worth adding to our wardrobe. And today's show is all about sneakers. 2023 really has been the year of sneakers, which has been wonderful news if you're a fan of comfort and style, but some women get a bit freaked out by them. Can you wear sneakers to work, with a dress or a skirt? Which sneakers? And what about socks? Mamamia co-founder Mia Freedman gets more joy out of clothes than anyone I know, and she collects sneakers, which we all know is a nice way of saying she's obsessed with them and can't stop buying them. I can't recall a time in the last year when she wasn't wearing sneakers, and I see her most days, either in person or of course on Instagram. And so she's going to explain how to wear sneakers at every age for every occasion. Aren't you, my friend Mia?
I sure am. Hello and thanks for having me.
Hello, and I love that you're in the studio with your feet up on the chair wearing sneakers.
My Adidas Samba sneakers. This is my new favourite podcast, so I'm very excited to be on it.
Yes. So Mia, before we get into sneakers, what are 3 words to describe your style?
Sneakers is one. The second is evolving or in flux. That's probably 2 words because I'm so known to myself and others as being the sequin lady. And like I used to say my style was if a rainbow threw up on you.
Yeah.
That was my style.
Yes.
But now I just want to kind of dress like you and like Asha Ketty. It's like 90s minimalism, which could not be further from sequins and bright colours.
But you still do a popper colour, but it's more sort of considered.
Yeah, it is. And sneakers definitely, seriously, would be one of the words that described my style, to the point where I've been trying to force myself to sometimes not wear sneakers, like maybe one day out of 7.
Okay. Well, we're going to need to get into that because I'm scared of sneakers. Now, there's a theory that most people wear 10% of their clothes 90% of the time. So there's a whole wardrobe sitting there, but we go for our favourites. What's on high rotation that makes up your 10%?
Without wanting to sound boring, my Adidas Sambas, really Adidas is having a moment in my life. I've been collecting Sambas, which means I've been buying too many of them. We're going to be talking about those later. So Sambas in all different colours. Also a pair of bright blue Adidas Originals tracksuit pants that are like that kind of, not nylon, but very polyestery.
Yes.
I've been wearing the hell out of those.
How? With what?
With everything. Like with a blazer, the pop of colour. It's a particular Adidas blue, which I just really, really love. And so I wear that with a blazer and trainers and lots of necklaces.
Yeah.
So the other thing that's in high rotation, I bought a new necklace from a girl who was my friend maybe many, many years ago. She was dating another friend of mine and I sort of lost contact with her. And she's now become this jewellery designer. She's got a label called Fiorina Jewellery. And she does really great chunky things. And I bought my first piece from her when we were in Melbourne a few weeks ago. And it's this quite chunky silver. I usually wear gold jewelry, but it's this quite chunky silver necklace that I have just been wearing most days of the week. And another thing I've been wearing constantly lately is I bought some singlets from Basic. So I love a white singlet, and they have these white singlets. I got it really oversized because I don't like anything tight, and it's just scoop neck. It's not too long, and it's got a round bit at the front. So I got it in white, grey and black, and the white is the winner. So I'm wearing that.
Good basic from Basic.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting into it. Sneakers. I have a love-hate with sneakers. For me, sneakers are something you wear to the gym, but obviously there's way more ways to wear them. I do not have any bad feelings towards my body, but just the day I was made, whoever made me just went leg, foot, no ankle. So I've felt that's been a struggle.
You've got a cankle.
I've got a cankle.
I've never noticed.
I don't even have an ankle. It just goes straight into my foot. But for that reason, besides gym wear, I struggle with sneakers. So can you start and tell us the difference between exercise sneakers and fashion sneakers? Is there a difference?
There really is. So anything that you could wear to go to the gym, you should not wear not with activewear. So if you want to wear activewear around, even if you're not exercising, wear your gym sneakers. But the kinds of sneakers, you know, when I say Nike, you'll know what I mean. You know, the kind of ones that have got good support, good cushioning, you don't want to wear those.
Okay.
They're not fashion sneakers. Fashion sneakers are pretty much anything else.
Okay.
Even, look, we'll get to the hiking sneaker later. That's for the very advanced. But I'm really surprised that you don't like wearing sneakers, because even if you are worried about how they make your legs look or how short you are, a lot of women are too scared to wear sneakers because they say they're too short. I also am very short. It's not about
true.
your
I
height.
think it's what's used to be in my head, and also sneakers weren't a fashion item maybe 10 years ago. But I have Sambas as well, and I wore them through winter with a wide leg jean, but now I don't know how to wear them going into spring and summer. Okay, so what if you are too short or you feel like you don't have the right leg shape? That's old school thinking, right?
Well, look, you know, our philosophy on this show, as encapsulated by you and me, Leigh, is if something makes you feel good, just wear it. Like, just wear it. And if something doesn't make you feel good, don't force yourself to wear it just because someone tells you that you should or because it's trendy, right? So you got to wear whatever you want to wear. Trends be damned. But if you do want to wear sneakers and you're self-conscious about it, pants are very long at the moment. So a sneaker poking out of the bottom of pants.
Linen pants are good.
Exactly. Under linen pants, amazing. The other thing that's very good if you're worried about being short is what's called flat form sneakers. Now, some people might remember a fairly awful period in fashion a few years ago when wedge sneakers or high-heeled sneakers were a thing.
Yeah, those Isabel Marant.
Yes.
Yes, I recall.
They were awful, and most brands did their version of that. That was a dark time. Didn't like those. I never bought a pair.
They're almost coming back, I've seen.
Yeah, look, they're good for giving you a little bit of height, but a better way to do that, a more modern way, is flat form. And that's, I guess, the word for platform, but it's not silly. So it's on a little bit of a platform, not a huge platform, but it's just like the sole is a little bit elevated. So flat form sneakers under, again, long pants, a long skirt, jeans.
Can
really
you wear
good.
them with a pretty skirt, like a floral pretty skirt? Or to me, that's a bit like, oh, that's pretty and that's tough. Or is that cool?
Do you mean sneakers in general or platforms?
Sneakers.
Yeah, I'm wearing them with a skirt today.
Beautiful,
And
like duck egg blue.
Yeah. So the reason why they can make dresses look really modern is particularly when you get to a certain age, of which I'm in my 50s, you're in your 40s. But you can get to that age where wearing a really feminine dress, like a floral dress or something, can be really aging in a way that it's not on a younger
Or
woman.
you can almost look like you're doing dress up.
Yeah, and if you then wear a flat shoe or a ballet flat, you can just suddenly feel a bit frumpy. I know I do.
And a bit themey, like
Yeah,
Charlotte from Sex
yeah.
and the City. I'm just thinking she wouldn't wear a sneaker, and that's
Yeah.
fine because she's got that very particular look.
Yeah, exactly. And Carrie wouldn't wear a sneaker either. And so sometimes if something can look just a little bit old-fashioned, like a pretty dress with a pretty shoe, but wearing a sneaker can make pretty much anything you own just feel more modern.
It's a bit unusual.
Yeah, so like a floaty dress, a long skirt. It needs to be the right kind of sneaker. So I would say a plain sneaker. You wouldn't wear a tricky sneaker, like a sneaker that's coloured or…
Because you can get, like Seed and Country Road do, I guess what I would call it almost a sand shoe, like a very simple white classic.
Yep.
All leather. It doesn't look sporty in any way. So is that like a good entry-level quote-unquote sneaker?
100%. I'll just quickly take you through the 6 big trends in sneakers at
Wow.
the moment, because it's not just like, do I wear a sneaker, do I not? Because there'll be people listening to this who are like, they've been wearing sneakers for ages and they want to know what kind of sneaker. Because I've been wearing sneakers for a lot of years, but the kind of sneaker that I wear has changed. So the first trend that you'll notice is retro. So that's like the Adidas Samba, all of those things that look kind of old school. The next one is like hiking sneakers where you can see the tread
And
of
it's
the
like
sneaker
that
a little
big
bit more.
chunky sandal. It's kind of like a hangover of the big ugly dad sneaker.
Very advanced. I'm not going to go there.
Okay. I had an affordable pair from Zara because I wasn't sure about that trend. I did it in winter with a tight legging because it felt like chunky thin.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could do them in summer.
That was very happening, but that's a trend, the sort of the hiking shoe. Then there's the designer sneaker. So Chloe, for example, have just brought out a sneaker a little while ago called the Nama. There's Golden Goose, of course. So these are sneakers that are going to set you back over $1,000 in some cases. Now that's just silly. I mean, if you can afford it and you want to, knock yourself out.
Don't the Golden Goose look dirty anyway?
They do. So the distressed Golden Goose sneaker is something that a lot of people have copied as well. But I wouldn't, if you're an entry-level sneaker, don't start with that. Also just because they're so expensive. Then, of course, the perennial sneaker that's always going to be in fashion is the white basic trainer. Unadorned, doesn't have colour on it, doesn't have tricky laces, doesn't have sparkles, nothing. It's just very, very simple. A few years ago, everyone was wearing Stan Smiths for Adidas. That's an example of just a plain classic leather. You can also wear it in canvas. Definitely spray it if you're going to wear it in canvas.
And it doesn't say a particular season, so you can literally have them year after year if you look after them.
100%. Another shoe that's an example of the retro trend is Converse. Converse will never go out of fashion. High tops.
Yeah.
High tops like the Nike Air Force or Converse high tops, that is a little bit more advanced. If you're concerned about your leg being cut off in a certain place, avoid those.
Or just what to wear them with.
High tops can look a little young.
They make me think of American college.
Yeah, exactly. So high tops, be a little bit careful of that. But they're sort of the broad trends of the moment.
Okay. And then colours. Are we doing white with a pop? Is like, I mean, you used to wear a pink sneaker, I'm sure.
I do. I have a number of Converse, but I've discovered that I don't wear them enough. So I've got a fluorescent pink pair of Converse. I've also got a bright blue pair. I've got like an orangey pair and I've got a lemon yellow pair. I don't wear them.
Was it because you were trying to work a whole outfit around the shoe?
Yeah. I thought, well, if I like them, don't do that. It's much better to just buy white. I would stick to white. I've also got sneakers that are like all glittery and sparkly. But most people don't have like a whole sneaker wardrobe.
Well, speaking of a sneaker wardrobe, what do you think there's just like one or two styles? If you're starting out.
If you're starting out. So start with your basic white. What I would suggest is going to a department store because then you can see a lot, or looking at a department store online because then you can see they've got, rather than if you just go on one particular label.
Yes.
That's the best way to see a big price range.
Yeah, agreed.
Before we recorded, I went and had a look and found an amazing pair of Seed shoes for like $29. And then all the way up to like, around $100 is where a lot of shoes fit, particularly if they're leather. But you can find a really well priced, doesn't have to be a particular label, just a straight white trainer. I would definitely say if you are investing in more than one pair, add a retro one.
Yeah.
Now that might be Converse. It might be, there's a great label called Autry, Autry, which I really like, which comes in loads of different colours, but the whole sneaker isn't coloured. It's just got coloured accents. So I've got a pair of those that are white leather, but they've got like yellow accents. And I find that works quite well.
Yeah, with a lot of your wardrobe.
Yeah, I do.
You even do a sneaker with a suit, and I love that look on you. And
There's nothing more modern.
I agree, but I just think a lot of people wouldn't go there. Once they've got their suit on and they're putting their shoes on before they go out the door. I mean, obviously, if you're a barrister, maybe that's not ideal, but talk to me about the unexpected thing you wear with sneakers.
Yeah. I think that a lot of particularly Gen X women will have a working girl hangover. I don't know if you remember that Melanie Griffith movie. It was a very big thing in the 80s that women would wear these short skirts and their little work suits, and then they would have to go on the subway. So they would wear like their running shoes, and then they'd get to work and they'd get changed. And that has been very scarring for a lot of women. But sometimes sneakers can be right for work under certain circumstances. It depends what industry you're in. But firstly, they've got to be very clean. Remember, if you've got white trainers, not if they're leather, but if they're canvas, like Converse, you can throw them in the wash.
I wash mine weekly. I bleach them inside. Well, I soak them inside, chuck them in the washing machine, leave them out in the sun to dry.
If they're leather, just use baby wipes.
Yeah.
You know, definitely
you know what else
do
I
that.
use for my white ones? You can get a pen from Bunnings. It's like a grout pen. And I just use the white grout pen and I do my whites, and then I've used
a hot tip.
the black grout pen to fix other high heels where it's the black scuffed.
That's really great. I would suggest in terms of wearing them to work with a suit, you just want a little bit of that pop of white poking out the bottom and being really clean, being really understated. You don't want to be tricky.
But maybe even to dinner if it's not a corporate environment. Even if you're heading out to dinner with friends, it doesn't always have to be a dress and flats in spring.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. And I think that wearing sneakers in an unexpected way, particularly with something more formal. So if you've got something more elevated, like a pretty dress, like a flowy skirt, like a really sharp suit or a blazer, that's how you can dress up a sneaker. But if you're wearing trackies, obviously, and you wear a sneaker, that's going to dress it down.
Yeah.
So I think if you're elevated above the sneaker, the other way is accessories. If you have like a nice accessory, like a nice bag, it'll make your sneakers feel more elevated.
And that's, I think, another trend we're seeing a bit is people are using their fancy bag, you know, the bag they bought once to go to a wedding. They're wearing them more casually, and that would look great with a suit and a sneaker, whereas I guess you probably generally reach for a more casual bag, but it's almost reaching for the unexpected to pair back with the sneakers.
What sneakers can also do is help you get more mileage out of some of those more dressy things in your wardrobe. Like you might have a dress that you bought to go to someone's wedding, or you might have something that's sequined. I wore a sequined dress with sneakers the other day, and that made it immediately feel fresh.
Yeah.
It wasn't a very formal occasion, so it completely downplayed the sequins, and the sequins elevated the shoes, so it worked really well.
Love it. What are the best sneakers to wear with jeans? Does it matter on the cut of the jean?
Yes. So if you're wearing, I know that wide-legged jeans and baggy jeans and mum jeans are in a lot of our wardrobes now and have replaced skinnies. If you're doing that, don't wear a chunky sneaker. Wear a sneaker that's quite low profile. By low profile, I mean low around your ankle.
Yeah.
That's peeping out the bottom. If you've got a lot of volume in your pants, wear a pretty understated, sleek sneaker, not a chunky sneaker.
Okay,
a chunky
too much volume.
too much volume and just too heavy. There's just too much going on downstairs. The other sneaker that you can never go wrong with any jeans is Converse. A pair of white, low-profile Converse, not the high tops, will look good with any style of jean.
I've even seen the Converse now that slip on. There's no lace. I've been considering those. It's like a slipper Converse hybrid.
There are a lot of different types of Converse. I would stick to white and just don't go tricky.
If you could only afford to buy one pair of sneakers, what should they be for the audience or for you or for me?
Again, I would go straight white. I would go a white low-profile Converse or another brand that is really lovely is the Vija brand. I think that's how you pronounce it. Made famous by Meghan Markle when she came to Australia and she was wearing some of them.
And I've seen a lot of celebrities. I know Angelina Jolie wears them and they're not they're gaudy. They're very simple. They look a little bit retro. They're quite pared back. And they're unisex, so men can wear them too. Yeah. I think you'll find a lot of the activewear brands, and I say activewear because that's where sneakers originated from, but so many of them are now made from post-consumer recyclable materials or ocean plastic. So it is a category of fashion that are doing really good things for the environment.
And since podcasts are not a visual medium, if you want our full list of specific sneaker recommendations, I've pulled together an edit of my absolute best sneakers to buy right now with pictures and links to where you can get them. And we'll put a link to that article at the top of the show notes for this episode.
It's very expensive.
Damn, honey.
How much are these?
25%.
Okay, Mia, we end the episode every week on Bougie and Budget. Obviously, we're talking sneakers here. You're not going to love me because I've chosen two kind of fitnessy sneaker versions, but I'm getting more adventurous with how I wear them. But first, I want you to start with your budget.
My budget would be, I'm going to just throw out a few labels, right,
Okay.
which I found they're all under 100. Some of them are under 50.
Ooh.
Converse, Seed, Forever New and Sadler. But they're doing a really nice basic trainer.
Yep.
Trainers don't have to be designer. They don't have to be
Yeah.
a label.
And you often
They just
can't
gotta
tell the
look nice.
difference.
No.
No. Well, mine are from Kmart. So they're the Kmart Comfort sneaker with elastic laces. I like them because they are just so inoffensive, so simple. They've got the teeniest bit of like Yeezy inspiration, but not so much that they're too fashion. They
Back
come in,
when Yeezy was cool.
exactly, back when Yeezy was cool. They come in a white that you could bleach till the cows come home, but they also come in a khaki and a black. And so the white I really like because they're not too sporty, but they're not too scary.
How much are they around?
$20.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
brilliant.
You can put some on your hands as well. What's your bougie?
My bougie is actually an app.
Oh,
So the reason why, if you're a sneaker aficionado, which I became way before I got really into sneakers, I had a teenage son who was really into sneakers.
What's with young boys and
Yeah.
sneakers?
So he introduced me to an app called StockX. It's an app that specializes in sourcing sneakers from all over the world. And if you see a picture, if you see on Pinterest or on Instagram of some shoes that you like, do a little screenshot, use the Google app to then search that image. It'll tell you what those shoes are. And then you put it in StockX, you do a search, and it'll source them from anywhere. So like
Wow.
I've been looking for some unusual color combinations of Sambas when I've
It's
gone
like
down
Shazam for sneakers.
Yeah. And so I've spent like a few $100s on Sambas. Can be quite hard to get. They easily
Very.
sell out. But, you know, you got to pay postage, but they authenticate them. You know that they're legit and you can buy them or bid for them. It's kind of like eBay just for sneakers.
Wow. I've got a bit of a tip too because I got some Sambas during winter and I couldn't find my size in Australia firstly, and then they were so expensive in Australia. So I went onto footlocker.com and then I had them shipped to a website called MyUS, and they just give you like a fake US website that lets that website, and then MyUS ships it to you. And you can also send several things to that one address and they'll send them all to Australia at the same time.
So for the places that don't ship to Australia,
Correct. Like
you
your
can do it that
Glossier's.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
I
your
think
beauty
Australia
things.
Post actually has that service as
Oh,
well.
there you
I
go.
think I've bought something through them before that way.
Okay, my bougie, which you're also not going to like because it's a little bit sporty. I've never worn a more comfortable sneaker than New Balance. And remember like last winter, last season, all the fashion people were doing New Balance as fashion. So like ripped jeans. They look really good with this season's maxi denim. So I don't know if I'd wear them with a suit. Or maybe I would, but I have a pair. The ones I've got are the 327 sneaker. It's in beige. It's like a white base with a little beige accent, tiny platform, but not too chunky or sporty. Again, it's kind of just an in-between.
Has it got that tread up the front so the sole? See, I bought a pair of those and I didn't like them,
I
so I
have
gave
to
them
have
away.
the tread up the toe because for some reason it makes my ankle feel better. Not that my ankle's sore, but I don't know. It just suits my shape. And I have been able to wear them casually. And trans-seasonally, I'm wearing these really great cotton leggings that are pants and then a T-shirt and a trench. And it's like I'm not going to exercise, but I'm obviously just running errands, collecting my son, and they look good enough for that.
I love it. One thing we didn't talk about was socks.
Oh.
Obviously, invisible socks, but socks are a trend.
Okay, so I wanted to ask your opinion on this. I see many women, probably younger than me, not that age is into it, but with the mid-calf cool pulled-up sock.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel like that's a little advanced.
Okay.
It's not something I'll be doing. I bought a pair of gold socks
Ooh.
and I've been thinking about how to wear socks with trainers because, again, I feel like it's a little bit advanced and I might be looking a bit try-hard, but I do want to try it. But otherwise, please wear invisible socks. Don't just put your stinky feet in your shoes.
And how does an invisible sock differ from an ankle sock?
You can't see it, hence the word invisible.
Is it clear?
It should be. It's magic. It's a magic sock. No, it's just a really low profile. So it should be invisible, but it should mean that your shoes don't stink.
Yeah, and you don't get too sweaty. Thanks for joining us, Mia, and thank you for listening to Nothing to Wear. And if you loved this show, we would love you if you rated and reviewed it with a 5-star rating wherever you are listening from. Check out the show notes for links to everything we have spoken about today. Next week, we're talking the foundations of every wardrobe, bras, undies, and everything in between. See you then. This episode was produced by Emeline Gazilas with audio production by Tegan Sadler. This podcast is powered by our subscribers. If you believe in independent women's media and want to support us, a subscription to Mamamia costs around the price of a coffee each month. There's a link in the show notes, and a big thank you to all our current subscribers.